Hello everyone, welcome to the channel update for August. I hope everyone's July went well. All things considered, considering that we still have a pandemic that is raging virtually out of control. Um, great times. Um, what is going on the channel? Well, Expeditions Rome just recently wrapped up. That has been replaced by Overboard. That is a quite a fun game, kind of a twist on the detective mystery game, where you are the murderer and you are trying to get away with it. I had a lot of fun playing it. I have finished the recording of it. It's all done now. Um, and coincidentally, Breath of Fire 4 I also wrapped up as well. So that will be coming to a conclusion. Both of those will be coming to a conclusion in the middle of August. I have an idea of what is going to be replacing Breath of Fire 4, but I am making some changes to my recording setup in order to do so. For those who are on the Discord, you may be aware that I got a Nintendo Switch recently, courtesy of a good friend, very good friend, obviously, Cressens. He streams over on Twitch. If you want to check out his stuff, he is currently just got into Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I get the name right eventually. And he plays a lot of Super Metroid, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past randomizer. So if you're interested in those, he also plays streams some Final Fantasy XIV. So if you're interested in those, check out his Twitch channel at CrescensXG. I will include a link in the description below for those of you who wish to give him a follow and check out his streams. But yes, so I got a Switch. I have captured PlayStation 4 before, but the equipment that I was using I didn't really like, and I'm not sure if it's working very well these days anyway. It's been a while since I did that, so I'm looking at upgrading, hopefully to a better thing. I've talked to some people who have done Switch capture, and I have a plan for it, but it does require me to finally get off my butt and upgrade my recording computer to Windows 10. So I should probably also upgrade it to Windows 11 after that, but we'll see about that. But yeah, so the recording machine is still running Windows 7 because it very much was a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. However, with Chrono Cross not running on Windows 7 at all, which I've gone back and looked at all the other games that I have purchased and played since Windows 10 came out. Most of them say minimum requirements Windows 10, and with the exception of Chrono Cross, every single one of them works just fine on Windows 7. For those not very familiar, Windows 7 and Windows 10 basically have the same architecture, so it's really bizarre to me that Chrono Cross doesn't work. On the other hand, from what everyone was saying after Chrono Cross came out, Chrono Cross on Steam has a ton of issues. So I may put that off even more, wait and see if that improves. Or with the Switch now, maybe I'll get the Switch version. I think they released it on that. That may work better. I'll look into that. I want to play the game. I want to experience the orchestrated music. Yasunori Mitsuda worked on that. So I would like to experience that. I'd like to play the game again. And I'd rather not just emulate the PlayStation 1 for that if I can help it. So that's where that is. But the game, if everything goes well, Breath of Fire 4 will be replaced with my first ever Let's Play from the Switch. So we will see how that goes. Fair warning, because of what I need to do, there may end up being a gap in recordings based on that, and streams as well. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm going to try to get everything resolved and working so that I don't have any interruptions. I am going to be on a little bit of a mini vacation, so no streams. The first full week, I guess the second week, next week of, next week of August. So I may have an opportunity to get the upgrades taken care of during that time. If everything goes well prior to that, there shouldn't be any interruptions in uploads, but there will be interruptions in streams just because I'm going to be away from my computer most of that time. So stay tuned for news of that. You can always join the Discord to get more details on what is going on. Keep an eye out for those upcoming games. Also, last month we started Raft on the channel, playing with John the Bard, formerly known as J Squared John Jeremy. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get together last weekend, the weekend before last, and this past weekend, last weekend, either. So no videos for this week. Hopefully next week things will be better for us, for our schedule, and we'll be able to get together and get some more episodes recorded and get those up. We'll see. I'm playing it by ear. Obviously, things come up. Can't do a whole lot about that. Super Robot Wars 30 is still ongoing, and we are very, very close to the end. I am actually really hoping that that wraps up really soon. It's a very good game, but it has overstayed its welcome, and I think they put too much into it. Like, that's kind of my conclusion. The pacing has not been great. Admittedly, some of that is because I was doing a lot of extra stuff, and I was doing a lot of extra stuff on stream that I didn't need to. I've started doing some more of the other stuff off stream, and that has kept the pace up a little bit better for Super Robot Wars, but we'll see. I'm hoping that there's only like 1 or 2 streams left, probably 2. But of course, that means that it's going to go past the break. So that's where we are with Super Robot Wars. Hopefully it'll be done soon, and we can move on to something else. I have very much enjoyed the game, but it's also very, very long. So we'll see how that goes. Lego building streams still ongoing Wednesdays and Fridays. Still quite a lot of fun, enjoying those. Feel free to join us and check those out, or of course check the VODs out here. And Minecraft on Fridays is also still ongoing as well. Retro Variety, it takes place on Wednesdays. Both the Minecraft and Wednesday Retro streams take place at starting at a bit after 11 a.m., usually between 11:15 and 11:30 a.m. Do check those out, please. I hope you guys can come out. We're currently playing Lemmings on the Retro Variety, and that is it's a fun game, and I'm basically just gonna play it until I get tired of it. I can feel the tiredness begin to come on. We'll see how that goes next session. Mainly just because they get a little bit too how to put it, a little too specific in how you need to or are expected to finish the levels. So we'll see how much that continues. But please come out and join me for those streams. Realms of Quest 5 with Zerfall has wrapped up. We have started recording the replacement game. I think we might start getting that posted soon, maybe even this week. the replacement will still be going up on Zerfall's channel. I'm going to wait until that is out to actually talk about it. I want to keep the surprise. But do go follow his channel and get those, and so you can see exactly when those go live. I will, of course, do the same thing I did with Realms of Quest 5 and have a playlist here on my channel as well. And finally, the Spelljammer streams on Saturday, still ongoing. We're on Adventure 18. The party finally has a route home, and they just need to get through it. So we'll see how long it takes them to actually get through it and get home. But it is still a blast to play. I hope you guys can join us for that as well. We did have a couple new episodes of Darkside Detective 2, A Fumble in the Dark, go live in between the end of Expeditions Rome and Overboard. They put out a new case that I hadn't played, so I got that and added it into the playlist. It only ended up being 2 episodes, but it was a fun little case. Quite a lot of fun. Nice to return to McQueen and Dooley. Great characters. At this point, it's very much a perennial favorite on for a lot of viewers of my channel. So I really do appreciate you guys coming out for that one as well. That's mostly it, what's going on the channel. Of course, I do stream over on Twitch, the LEGO Building streams, Minecraft, Retro Variety, Spelljammer, and, of course, Super Robot Wars. You can either get to that up here on the main page, or just follow links in any of these videos. They should all, at this point, old ones notwithstanding, old videos I still need to go through and edit the descriptions of those and get that kind of information in. But everything else these days should have a link to my Twitch channel in them. Certainly all the stream content does. So please do come join us for that. For those who were wondering how we did on the charity stream, if you remember from last month, I participated in Zerfall's annual MSBikeRide charity stream. It was fantastic. It was a blast. Let's see. How did we do? $6,153 raised. Went well past our goal of 5,000 Canadian dollars, of course. And it was a lot of fun. I did put some of my local recordings of what we did for 2 games. Played some Golf with Your Friends and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge that I made local recordings of and put up here on the channel. So if you missed those, do check those out. There's a playlist, Partying with Friends, that you can go in and check that out. That was a blast. It was big success. I'm very pleased with what we were able to do this year, and just such a big thank you to everyone who came out and donated. Really does mean a lot to me personally. It means a lot to everyone involved. So it does really, really make me so proud that so many, I saw so many familiar names, so many viewers of my channel coming out and supporting such a wonderful cause. So I really do want to thank you guys for coming out. And even if you couldn't donate, just coming out and showing your support by watching the videos after the fact and everything like that, and just cheering us on, it really is. It really does mean so much to not only myself, but everyone else involved. So thank you again from my heart. I'm sure that they would be thanking you if they were here as well. So that's mostly what's going on with the channel itself. If you want to support the channel directly, there are multiple ways to do so. Patreon is, of course, the best way. There are multiple levels. Even the $1 per month goes a long way to ensuring that I am able to purchase the equipment that I need when I need to do upgrades, that I'm able to replace hardware when it fails, which luckily I haven't had any of those, although my server hard drives are beginning to fail, so those need to be replaced soon. Getting new Lego for the Lego streams, buying new games, making sure that I have food to eat, making sure that I have a roof over my head, that I have an internet connection so that I can upload the videos. It really does go a long way to ensuring that all of those things can come to pass, and I can continue to bring tons and tons of daily content to you guys. Every time I sit back and I actually calculate how much I'm actually putting up, I'm like, that's a lot. And I know that for some of you, it can be a little frustrating trying to keep up with it all, and for that I am sorry. But at least there's always content that you can go back to and look at later. So there are multiple tiers. I do need to change some of them around because I do need to make some tweaks. But I do want to mention that for those who are supporting me on Patreon already, this month we will be starting the Patron's Choice voting. So probably around the middle of the month, I'll put out a request for suggestions, start a poll on Patreon to narrow it down to a top 5, and then once I have the top 5, there will be a poll here on YouTube to choose an upcoming Let's Play. So I want to, well, I should also say, if there's, if Patreon isn't the best way for you to support, and you want to support the channel, you can also support me through joining here on YouTube. You can subscribe on Twitch, cheer with bits, make a one-time donation on a Ko-fi. Links are always in the video descriptions for all of these ways. All of them go a long way to ensuring that I can continue to produce content for you guys daily, have regular streams, get the Lego streams, the AD&D Spelljammer streams, and all the games that are coming to you daily. So please do, if you can support, please consider it. If you can't support monetarily, then you can always ensure that you're doing your best for the draconian YouTube algorithm. Watch videos fully, especially first videos in a series, giving them a like, leaving a comment if you have something to say. All of that does go a long way. YouTube looks at that, and that's how they decide what to promote to other people. So the more you watch a video all the way to the end rather than like cutting it off even a few seconds early, or obviously if you're going into like a playlist that you've already watched fully through and you're just going through and liking all the videos, the like more than makes up for the fact that you're just skipping through the playlist. So that's perfectly fine. If there's a playlist that you watched, say on your mobile device, or you had just sitting on in the background while you were working, or on a TV or something like that, and then you go on another device and just go through a playlist and like all the videos, that more than makes up for the fact that you're just skipping through. That's perfectly fine. But if you're watching a video for the first time, definitely let it finish. That goes a long way. YouTube looks at those elements and is like, people watched the video fully. They liked it. They left a comment. That's a good video that I should promote to other people. So that's how all of that works. And it is very arcane, and literally everyone is trying to manipulate the system as much as they can to get their stuff promoted. And YouTube doesn't really like the kind of content that I make where it's serial. Someone is not very likely to watch episode 39 of Breath of Fire 4, just episode 39. and they have no way of indicating that that is not a video that should be taken into account for promotion purposes, kind of thing. So, I mean, I could put them all as unlisted, but then they wouldn't show up in your subscription feeds. You'd have to go into the playlists to actually see them. So there's things that I think that YouTube should change, but that they probably never will because they don't like my kind of content. But there's literally no place else to go for it. Like, Twitch is a competitor for view time, but it's not a competitor for the style of content. You know, it is absolutely the better place for live content compared to YouTube streams, in my opinion. But in terms of like a daily upload of videos that is not live, there isn't any place else that's better. But YouTube doesn't want to design itself towards that. They want like the one-off video that is completely isolated. But that's neither here nor there. Every time we get one of those creator surveys, I'm always very explicit about what they need to change. And I fully expect that to not make a single bit of difference. Oh well. So before we close off, a couple last things that I want to say. As I mentioned at the beginning, we do still have a pandemic absolutely raging. I saw a recent statistic that here in the U.S. alone, I think it was like children under 5. More children under 5 died of COVID in just like 1 month than the whole year typically die from influenza and stuff like that. So it's still bad. It may not seem like it because in a lot of ways life has returned to normal, but stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Get your booster if you haven't. Make sure you're vaccinated. Get the boosters. Keep an eye out for when you can get a second booster. Until the pandemic is actually ended, it is entirely possible that we may need to keep getting boosters, just like we have to get yearly flu shots kind of thing. That's just the nature of it. The virus keeps mutating, and despite what some people say, it is not mutating into less virulent or less dangerous forms. There is a chance that it can do so, but it's all about just, what the actual mutations are. There is nothing in viruses that specifically tries to make them like less dangerous. Like there is some people say that they do that naturally over time. That's not true. What matters is how much it can replicate itself and spread itself. So if it's already replicated a ton and spread a ton, and then you die, there's no like evolutionary pressure for it to become less dangerous in that regard. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're staying safe. Wear your masks, please. Make sure that there's proper ventilation in any kind of public space that you're in with a lot of people and things like that. And just stay safe, please. Long COVID is nasty, and it seems to affect 1 in 5 people who actually get it. So it's best not to get it. I am very lucky in that I have been avoiding it. Most of my family has as well. I don't think those who have gotten it have gotten long COVID, so far as I know, but it is a danger that I am worried about, and you can get it multiple times, especially as it mutates. So please stay safe. I care about you guys, and I want you to stay safe. And the last thing I want to mention is that we are less than 100 days here in the U.S. from the midterm elections. Make sure that you are registered to vote. Make sure that you are aware of what you need to do to vote in your jurisdiction. If you want to vote early, if you want to vote by mail, and those that are available to you, make sure you do so. Make sure you're aware of what is necessary if you're stuck in line for a really long time. If you do end up getting stuck in the voting line for a long time, don't get out. I Voting is more than just it is not a privilege, it is not a right. I mean, it is a right, but it is a duty. And that's what it should be seen as. Every citizen in a democracy has not just the right to vote, but they should see it as their duty to vote. Uh, the a lot of people talk about their vote not counting and things like that, but it does. And there are a lot of people who work really, really, really hard to prevent you from voting, to discourage you from voting. That alone should say something. So please do exercise that right. Make sure your vote is cast and heard. And even though I don't know when other countries are voting, but if you do live in a democracy, please do make sure you're voting. I saw that some other countries, like the recent French elections, had record low turnout, which was still higher than record high turnout here in the U.S. So yeah, but that is something that if you live in France, people in France, talk to them and try to get them to see the importance of voting. It is extremely important. It is quite possibly the most important thing you can do in a democracy is to vote. Get your voice heard. Choose your candidate. Cast your vote. Be aware of how your system works. Here in the U.S., we're first past the post with a separate executive, which is not really a great system. Keep an eye out for changes to that, such that we can get more views. It is if you look at other countries with multiple parties, what we have here in the U.S. is essentially those parties are merged into single parties that generally fall either left of the center or right of the center to varying degrees. But the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are both coalitions, whereas in most democracies in Europe, in Canada, these parties are split up into separate parties. Here in the U.S., they're merged into one because it's the only actual way it works. There is some news about an attempt at creating a third party here, again in the U.S. It is going to fail. All it is going to do is take votes away from one or both of the other parties and make it more difficult for some of them to win, depending on how it actually shakes out. Until you have a system where it's not first past the post, where one party can win with 40% of the vote, while the other two parties get 30% of the vote each, and yet that means that 60% of the people wanted someone other than the party that won. That's the way to think of it. Like, you want a system where you're getting the majority of the people to be buying into the victory kind of thing. And that's what things like ranked choice do. So keep an eye out for any measures locally for that to happen, and sign the petitions if they're coming around. Make sure you're aware of any ballot measures that may be implementing them, and do your part to work for those, because they will make the system better, and we can get better groups of voices in and things like that, more varied opinions. But until that happens, keep in mind that the two parties here in the U.S. are essentially coalitions of different parties. And that is also one of the reasons why it can feel like the parties don't really reflect your point of view. Even though you may be on the general side that they are on, they still may not feel like they reflect you, and that's in large part because they are coalitions of what would be multiple parties in a non-first past the post system. And we need to get there. But you can't get more parties until you get there first. So that's unfortunate. But all of that hinges on going out and voting. So please do vote. Vote in every election, local elections, primaries, midterms, vote always. Always vote. So please do figure out what you need to do. Make sure you're registered and make a plan for voting come election day. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the update, and we will be back with the next one in September. I hope your August goes well. Thank you all for watching, everyone.